The fire at the oil refinery in Novoshakhtinsk, Rostov region of Russia, which occurred after the attack of Ukrainian drones on August 21, has been going on for 5 days now. Information and images about this were spread on local Telegram channels. According to information, the airmobile group of the MCHS and employees from the Krasnodar region, Kalmykia, Volgograd and Moscow regions were involved in fighting the fire. In total, they attracted 412 people and 150 pieces of equipment, including fire trains. Recall: fierce fire that started in Novoshakhtinsk oil refinery in Russia's southern Rostov region has intensified, with the fire spilling over onto a new reservoir. The refinery was hit on the night of August 21 as Ukrainian drones hit Novoshakhtinsk city in the region. As a result, an explosion and fire occurred on the territory of the plant. The plant was also attacked on December 24 last year, followed by a large fire. According to Ukrainian Telegram channels, the plant is protected by 2 anti-aircraft missile systems, Panzer S-1 and Tor. It should be noted that Russia is experiencing fuel shortage due to escalated Ukrainian long-range drone strikes. According to Moscow Times report, Ukrainian drone attacks have knocked out around 13% of the Russia's oil refining capacity since the beginning of August. Commenting on Russia's growing fuel shortage, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's chief of staff Andriy Yermak said this week that Ukraine's attacks on Russian energy infrastructure was well justified. In 2022, Russia did everything to deprive Ukraine of fuel. Now they suddenly face a shortage themselves. That's what happens when you attack Ukrainians, Yermak wrote on X.
Сейчас, походу, нас выгонят со стройки. Все, и те тоже цистерны загорелись. Сейчас бы не въебало бы. Ни хрена себе. Уйдет.
Еще один уебал.
Да он так и ебашит, ни на минуту не перестало, блядь. Он еще сильнее, глянь, какие грибки.
Идет, да, туда? Какой это?
Это 9-й, 8-й. Та середина, они сложились, и походу сейчас те два еще, если сейчас перекинет, пока еще перелива не было, но походу сейчас пойдет.
Ох, глянь.
Они походу все 4 сложились.
Которые там 2 этих были.
2 нижних и 2 ближе, да.
Сейчас привезут, пацаны, вещи.
Спасибо.
Мы туда не проедем.
Гля, гудит, а?
Это гудит, слышал?
Может, тоже будем отходить?
Давай.
Ух ты, давай отходить.
Покидаем объект. Эвакуация. Покидаем объект.
A Russian woman filmed how seriously wounded Russian occupiers are sent back to the combat zone. Soldiers from the 104th Airborne Assault Regiment, many of whom cannot walk normally and are on crutches, are being forcibly returned to the front. My heart sinks. Our guys are being sent back to the Special Military Operations Zone by order of the commander of the 104th Airborne Assault Regiment, Alexei Tolmachev. Many have not yet recovered from their wounds. Some are still on crutches. Some with a bandaged arm. How painful it is to see them leaving without having time to recover, said the Russian woman who filmed the events. This video confirms that the practice known as crippled regiments is gaining momentum in the Russian armed forces. Russian command is increasingly returning soldiers with disabilities who have not completed their treatment to the front. Their chances of surviving in combat are minimal. But the Kremlin, which is experiencing an acute shortage of manpower, continues to resort to this brutal measure. The 104th Airborne Assault Regiment is part of the 76th Airborne Division of the Russian Federation, known for its crimes against Ukraine. Since 2014, the regiment has participated in aggression, in particular in the seizure of Ukrainian drilling rigs in the Black Sea and in the occupation of Donbass. In 2022, the regiment took part in the offensive on Kiev, it suffered catastrophic losses, including the loss of at least 4 battalion commanders. Earlier, media reported that a video of occupiers being sent to storm the city on crutches had appeared on the internet. A Russian man filmed how undertreated Russian soldiers on crutches under military police escort were forcibly shoved into a truck to be sent to the front. The man does not hide his indignation. "This is complete. Look how the guys are leaving for war, who shouldn't be going. The VPs are just pushing them into a Kamaz. A man with crutches. They're breaking him. It's just unbearable," he says off camera. It is known that the video shows soldiers from the 503rd Motorized Rifle Regiment of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation. This unit is stationed in Ingushetia. However, according to the Russian opposition publication Media Zona, the video was filmed at the Russian military training ground Kadamovsky in the Rostov region. It is located approximately 50 kilometers from the border with the occupied Luhansk region. While the Allies continue to discuss how to strengthen Ukraine's security, Kiev is betting on its own developments. The Ukrainian company Firepoint Defense has presented the latest cruise missile Flamingo FP5, which has already been tested and is being prepared for serial production. Politico writes, "The main feature of the Flamingo is its range of up to 3,000 kilometers and a warhead weighing over a ton. This means that the missile is capable of hitting any targets in the European territory of Russia." According to the company's CEO and technical director Irina Terek, the development took less than 9 months, from the first drawings to successful tests in real combat conditions. "We didn't want to advertise this project, but the time has come. Flamingo can carry a 1,150 kilogram warhead and cover distances that our other missiles can't. At the same time, its speed is higher than that of previous models," Terek told Politico. "The unusual history of the name and appearance of the rocket deserves special attention. The first prototypes had a bright pink nose cone. This was a kind of symbol of the role of women in production. Subsequently, the color had to be replaced with a more practical one due to camouflage requirements. However, as Terek notes, the feminine handwriting in these designs was preserved." The missile has already become a subject of discussion not only among experts, but also in the Kremlin. Russian propaganda is trying to present the Flamingo as a copy of British models, but the fact remains that Ukrainian engineers have created a weapon capable of changing the balance of power in record time. As the missile undergoes combat testing, Moscow is increasingly trying to block any information about it. The West notes that the appearance of such weapons in Ukraine will seriously complicate the plans of dictator Putin to prolong the war. Flamingo can become a deterrent, since it strikes not only physically, but also psychologically, showing that Ukraine is capable of independently creating strategic weapons. According to Politico, the missile is already ready for serial production. More than 200 units have been produced to date, 211 pieces. Given the relative simplicity of the design and the high speed of production, the number of Flamingos in service with the Ukrainian armed forces is expected to increase.